Hey guys, it's Candace from the Edgy Veg, and today I am going to test out one of Gaz Oakley's videos from AvantGardeVegan. I'm going to test out the meatiest meatballs ever, I think is what it's called. Yes, the meatiest vegan meatballs ever. Alright, so I saw this video come out and it's a pretty bold claim from Gaz to say it's the meatiest vegan meatball ever, and I wanted to give it a try. Also, I was very curious about the fact that it has like so many ingredients and so many steps, and I wanted to see if I can pull this off. So I'm gonna check out his video. I printed out the recipe as well, which I will follow, and see if these are in fact the meatiest meatballs ever. There's a lot of gluten flour involved in this, which makes me excited already, and tofu and mushrooms. Those are like my three favorite things. So I'm pumped to try this out. Oh, Gaz is so cute. He has such a like soft, calming voice. It's like literally the complete opposite of how I do my videos. All right, look at this kitchen though that they work in. I need more plants in my kitchen. He uses his hands a lot, like I do, which I appreciate. No, we're not peeling all of it. No, we are not peeling the mushrooms. So the base of the meatballs is tofu, mushrooms. It says chestnut mushrooms, but they look like cremini mushrooms. So maybe that's just like a UK name for these mushrooms. And then vital wheat gluten. So all those things are like super dense and meaty, high protein. I'm going to put celery, onion, and the mushrooms that I did not peel into the food processor and just, you know, pulse it until it's blitzed. So we've got this one stalk of celery and then one onion. I think I'm going to pulse those first and then add the mushrooms. I would have thought we'd have to bake these. Nope, we're cooking them in oil. I actually like that a lot more. I think it'll cook a lot faster. All right, so we're adding 2 tablespoons of oil. I'll let that heat up over medium heat. Now we are adding our mushrooms, our celery, and what else did I put in here? Onion, along with garlic. And we're just going to saute that. I'm actually gonna switch to a wooden spoon. All right, now let's add the spices. So we've got some minced garlic, oregano, basil, sage, fennel seeds, dried rosemary, salt and pepper in a pan. I mean, I do really appreciate the generous use of spices. Now we're adding miso and tomato paste. So these are going to add a nice boldness to the flavor profile. I find a lot of vegans are afraid to use spices or salt, or you need flavor. Now we are deglazing the pan with red wine. Love the generous use of red wine in this recipe as well. And vegetable stock, and bringing that to a simmer. Is this what it looked like when he did it? I hope so, or else I really screwed up here. So I'm adding the tofu and then bringing it to a simmer. It's already at a simmer, so I'm just gonna add the tofu and mix it in. So it's thickened up a little bit. Gaz says to turn the heat off, so I've done that, and now we have to prepare a mixer. So I have to get my stand mixer to, I guess, fold in the wet ingredients? No, the dry ingredients. What am I doing? All right, I have a stand mixer, actually the same one that he has in the video, so I'm going to use that. If you don't have one of these, you're going to have to knead this by hand, and poor you. This has changed my life in terms of like seitan making. So I have vital wheat gluten, which I'm just going to add to the mixture, or the mixer. And now I'm adding this wet tofu tomato very carefully, I think. Oh God, this is gonna make a mess. Just adding this right to the mixer as well. Not very delicately, I might add. I'm a lot less graceful and poised than Gaz is, that's for sure. And I'm going to start slow with a stir and then kind of speed up as we go along. Okay, I mean, it kind of just makes its own I think these are firmer. I think I need to add more Vital Wheat gluten. And add a little bit more Vital Wheat gluten and knead it for another 10 minutes because this just seems too soft. And I feel like if I make this into a ball, it's not really staying in a ball. I may not have cooked enough liquid out of this. And this is why you also have to use your head when you're following a recipe, because sometimes you are the problem and not the recipe. Okay, so I think that's a bit better. It's a bit thicker, not as, not mushy. What's the word I'm looking for? I don't know, just like squishy, spongy. So we're gonna roll this into a lot of meatballs, apparently. Oh, damn it. You do have to roast them. All right, and I'm going to keep them in this roasting pan. I only have small roasting pans, so I'm going to use 2. I'm excited to try this. It still seems a bit spongy, so I'm curious to find out how this turns out. Working with Vital Wheat gluten though is like super, super finicky. I find sometimes I make the best seitan ever, and then other times it just, I don't know, there's too much moisture in the air or something. It can come out really bizarre. All right, so I'm heating some oil over medium heat, and then we are going to caramelize and brown the outside of the meatballs a little bit right in the pan, and then I guess it's going in the oven for 90 minutes. So hang tight. This is a long one. Very delicate. You have to be careful with them. I mean, if you have no patience, I don't think this is the recipe for you. Which, I mean, I don't have a lot of patience, but I'm determined to make this and try it. So the whole point here is to caramelize the outside a little bit, create like a nice browned, oops, color. Some of them are not balls anymore. They're more like little meaty lumps. I love the use of red wine, vegetable stock, miso. All of his recipes have like a good, well-rounded flavor profile, so I'm super pumped to try that. Because I don't have one big roasting pan and I'm doing 2 separate ones, I'm going to mix the broth, like the roasting broth, in just a bowl. So we're adding some wine, vegetable broth, tomatoes, and then salt, pepper, what's this? Salt, pepper, thyme, and rosemary. All right, we are going to add the roasting broth and a bay leaf to each one of these pans and then cover it with aluminum foil. Trying to do this as evenly as possible, hence the ladle here. Oh, my timer, thank you. It smells amazing in here, so I'm super pumped to try this. Nailed it. And now covering it with aluminum foil. That's how they say it in England. Being authentic to Gaz himself. Aluminum. It's such a more refined way than aluminum. Aluminum foil. Anyway, I'm gonna cover that. Okay, so I have to preheat my oven. It's 175 degrees Celsius, which is 350 Fahrenheit. So we're cooking that for 90 minutes. It's a long one. Wow, perfect. Okay, so he suggests making a quick sauce and then gives the recipe, so that's what I'm going to make now. I'm going to add some oil to a saucepan. We're going to saute some garlic and onion, a base of any good sauce. All right, now I'm adding salt, pepper, and thyme. I think it's thyme. Is it thyme? Yes. He uses fresh thyme, but it's not really something I have on hand all the time. Thyme. Seasonings, cook until golden. What's golden? The onion? What's golden? I'm just gonna cook it for a couple minutes. And then I'm deglazing the pan with red wine. All right, I'm going to add the wine, a can of chopped tomato, and then about half a cup of water. Adding the tomato puree, and then we are going to bring that to a simmer. Gaz does suggest that he likes to pan fry the meatballs before he serves them. I'm just gonna pan fry some of them and then try the pan fried ones versus the ones straight out of the oven. right, guys, I cooked up some spaghetti. I've tossed it in the sauce. I've added the fried meatballs. I'm also going to try the meatballs on their own, but I'm super pumped to give this a try. I'm gonna go right for the meatball with the sauce first. I mean, it looks super meaty. I think I could have actually cut down on the liquid a little bit. It is a little bit spongy, so the next time I make this, which I think I will again because these smell so good. We'll see after I've tasted it. The tofu mixture I would definitely cook down a little bit more so it's not as liquidy, it's not as spongy, because I did need it for about 10 minutes. But all right, let's dig in. It's really good. It's very salty. Definitely has that umami flavor. I love salt, so it's not too salty for me. I do think that if you're sensitive to salt, you might think it's a bit too salty, but I think it's really tasty. Let's try the sauce. Yeah, this is a winner for sure. It's very good. There's a little bit of spice in there, and I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just the pepper, cooking pepper for a long time, maybe. But it is a little bit spicy, which I love. But yeah, I think it's definitely the pepper. This is definitely an amazing recipe. Guys, you killed it. I have some ideas for how to evolve this a little bit on my own and kind of maybe come up with my own version of it too, but I love this. So this is the pan-fried ones. Without being pan-fried though, I wanted to give a little taste test here on their own. So this is pan-fried and this is not. So we'll go with the not. Okay. I think the difference mainly is because it has a different mouth feel because of the oil, like it kind of coats your mouth, whereas this, it's not dry, but it's drier than this. I don't know. They're both really good either way. You're tossing them in sauce either way, so they're delicious. Actually, I think I like the pan-fried one more. Maybe it just caramelizes it a little bit more. Well, if you guys like this recipe, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Let me know in the comment section below what other chefs' recipes you want me to try, and I will give it a try. Those are redundant sentences, but you know what I mean. Okay, see you later, bye. It's really good. Like really, really good.